Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of NXT, and tonight we have a big-time main event coming your way. For the very first time ever, Bryan Danielson takes on MJF, the current number one contender, to the NXT Championship. It is going to be a great night, and it's only going to get better, as I'm being told we're going to kick it off with the $1 million Money in the Bank winner, Wes Lee. I'm not the type of man to make excuses, but last week Rusev decided to involve his business once again and get involved in my matchup against Braun Breaker, and I ended up losing to Braun Breaker. So you know what, Rusev? If you want this Money in the Bank briefcase so damn bad, you know what? Me and you can fight for it tonight, right now. Rusev, you're all talk and no bite. So how about this? Get your ass out to the ring right now, and let's have ourselves a Money in the Bank briefcase matchup right now. You win, you have my briefcase. If I win, you need to screw off. So now, I'll see you out in the ring. Good luck. Well, it looks like Rusev is going to get his opportunity. A man that is very, very pissed off. The Money in the Bank briefcase holder for NXT. And now he's going to get his he's going to have opportunity to silence the critics. Rusev, ever since Wes Lee's won that Money in the Bank briefcase, has wanted to take that away from Wes Lee. Feels like he doesn't deserve it. Doesn't feel like Wes Lee's that main event talent to be even holding that in that position. But Wes Lee won that at the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver pay-per-view, so rightfully so, he won that. But Rusev believes it's not Wes Lee's time whatsoever. He's not a main event talent, and there's Rusev has no idea why he was able to even get into that Money in the Bank matchup at Stand and Deliver. Obviously, Wes Lee qualified, but still, I mean, for Rusev, he says that he's championship material, and I think he definitely is, but I think that he sees his partner, whatever's going on between him and Christian, maybe, I don't know if he's getting a little jealous or what's going on right now, because he sees Christian with that North American Championship. Rusev badly wants a championship around his waist. And, you know, I mean, there's one good way to do that is taking that Money in the Bank briefcase away from Wes Lee. And Wes Lee said, hey, I'm sick of you. Let's get this over and done with. If you beat me tonight, you can rightfully have that Money in the Bank briefcase. But if I defeat you, you have to stay away from me in this briefcase. So, I mean, this is a great way to kick us off here on NXT. A barn burner matchup, ladies and gentlemen. This episode and another episode of NXT. Next week's episode is the go-home show, and the landscape in the men's division could definitely change. Rusev could be Mr. Money in the Bank after tonight's episode, and he could very well cash in if he were to win tonight against Wes Lee. Or Wes Lee could, obviously, if he wins tonight, he could cash in next week, or obviously at the Vengeance Day pay-per-view. So, I mean, there's just so many outcomes that we could see. But Wes Lee looking like he's ready, so is Rusev. And this crowd here in New York City is absolutely on their feet. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Rusev has been on a tear lately, so is Christian. Wes Lee has been losing some matches so far, unfortunately, to the likes of MJF, Chris Jericho, as well as Braun Breaker recently. So we'll have to wait and see if it's going to come to the change of tonight's match. And Wes Lee slowly but surely getting himself momentum right now. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to do that, but look at submission hold here on Rusev, but Rusev with a snapmare reversal. And Rusev starting to loosen up those hips, maybe try to get it ready for an accolade, possibly. Obviously, Rusev does more of the super kicks and whatnot, but I mean, it's going to be very effective no matter what. And Wes Lee's been more effective in this matchup, and maybe Wes Lee needs to be more aggressive in his matches. But Wes Lee, you could definitely say he called out Chris Jericho. This is when it's all started coming out. Wes Lee, he wanted to come out and prove himself. And he wanted to challenge the best of the best, so he wanted to go after Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho defeated him pretty good as a Uranagi there from Rusev, but still much more to go. But, you know, it started with Chris Jericho, then it was MJF, then Braun Breaker. So, I mean, Wes Lee is kind of on the downward spiral, but it may get better tonight if he's able to knock off Rusev. We'll see if Wes Lee can finish off. Oh, that jumping clothesline. That brutal forearm strike, but Rusev right back up to his feet. Surprisingly, Wes Lee wasn't able to capitalize. He gets hit with a stunner, man. Oof. An awkward landing, too. And now Rusev going to look to go to work here at ringside. Big clubbing blow, and now Rusev just slowly but surely start to dissect this matchup, and I don't blame him. You gotta do what you gotta do at this moment. And we still have plenty of action still to come tonight. We got a singles matchup in the tag team division coming your guys' way. As we got at a 6 count right there. Julius Creed will be taking on James Drake coming up here very shortly, as well as your main event MJF versus Bryan Danielson, and much more here live on NXT. And Christian also will be in action as well later on tonight. Here we go, pinfall opportunity. Will this be it? 2, no, 2.5. Christian is going to be action. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a big time matchup for Christian to see if he can continue this momentum, because Christian will be taking on Wardlow. Cannot wait to see how that fares off. A big time matchup between those two for sure. As now Christian getting involved. Wes Lee, this is not the best time for him to get distracted here. Oh my god! Oh god! Did you see that? Wes Lee is busted wide open right now. Wes Lee is in trouble, and he could be moments away from losing his Money in the Bank briefcase here on NXT. Let's look at Rusev. This Redeemer just trying to redeem his career here in NXT, and he could be moments away from doing that. Oh no. Oh no, look at that blood. The blood dripping down the right side of his face. Will Wes Lee have to tap? Nowhere to go. He's in the middle of the ring. All that weight on the lower back of Rusev. But Rusev lets go. But will that be enough? He's going to go for that pinfall. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, Rusev is your new Mr. Money in the Bank. You hate to see it like that for Wes Lee. He won that Money in the Bank briefcase to stand and deliver. Rusev just kept bugging these couple weeks, and he eventually made Wes Lee snap, and he now defeats Wes Lee, and now Wes Lee just being decimated after this matchup. Rusev stealing it all. You hate to see what we just saw, ladies and gentlemen. Rusev, I mean, he's been a man with a plan these last month or so, ever since NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Wes Lee won that Money in the Bank briefcase. Rusev did not stand for that, and eventually Bret Hart told him, hey, you know what, you're not going to get that. But Wes Lee, he snapped, basically, and he kicked off NXT and saying, hey, I can't handle this anymore. This needs to be over and done with. So I'll put my Money in the Bank briefcase on the line, but if I beat you, you have to stay away from me and my briefcase. And ultimately, Rusev defeats Wes Lee and beats him down after the matchup. So Rusev now is your new Mr. Money in the Bank here on NXT. And if I'm CM Punk or MJF, I am going to have eyes behind my head, because Rusev is a dangerous superstar. I'm not saying Wes Lee couldn't have won the World Championship, but Rusev, it takes it almost from not having to worry about your Money in the Bank briefcase being cashed in any time to, oh my goodness, could he cash in tonight, next week, and then also at Vengeance Day. It's one of those things that's just absolutely crazy to even think about. As here come the Creed brothers out down to the ring here. Julius will be in action. Brutus won last week against Zach Gibson, and now it's going to be Julius Creed taking on James Drake. Imagine if James Drake can pick a big win for their tag team as they get ready to defend their tag team championships. But here we go, one-on-one contest. It was a hard-hitting battle last week between the other two tag teams, but we'll see how it's going to work tonight. And coming up at Vengeance Day, I'm I'm really looking forward to that tag team match between these two teams, man. They just very, very, like, coming from an older school team to a new school team. Got the grizzled young veterans that are very technical, cut off the ring type of things. And you got the Creed brothers, that young and up and coming tag team, and they've had the number of the grizzled young veterans over this last month, in singles and in even tag team action. So is it going to be an easy thing to say that they're going to walk out with the tag team championships? No, certainly not. But it's very well possible. Oh, wait a minute. Cradle. Can he steal victory here? Referee a little bit slow to the count there. He would have at least got a close 2 count out of that if the referee wasn't a little bit slow. But now James Drake going to go to town here on Julius. Going for that nice knife edge chop there, but not able to get much of anything off of it. And now just a strength and power in that snap suplex. Creed brothers are going to be here for a very long time here in NXT. And imagine what it's going to be like if the Creed brothers can knock off the grizzled young veterans and keep those tag team championships around their waist. It's a beautiful neck breaker there from James Drake. Is now just, oh my goodness, going to work on that arm. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have some more news for you. Later on tonight, the #1 contenders to the Women's Tag Team Championships. We're going to see Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons in action as they take on the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. That's going to be Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez later on tonight. So that's going to be a big-time matchup, besides Christian and Wardlow still to come tonight, as well as MJF and Bryan Danielson. As Julius is in trouble right now. James Drake turning Julius inside out. And oh, look at this. James Drake just eating this up right now. And this is what I love that Bret Hart did. He's starting to tour around for NXT, so it's not just feeling like it's like in a dungeon or whatever. He wants these young and up-and-coming superstars to understand what these main event type atmospheres are going to be. He wants these wrestlers to be fighting in $5,000 and $10,000 or 5 to 10,000 people, I should say, so that they're used to that. So when they're ready to go to Raw and SmackDown, it won't be a big transition. They will be ready for it. That's what I love about Bret Hart, him doing that. And no offense to Triple H, I mean, what he was doing was just trying to build back NXT, but I like what Bret Hart did, changing it up. There's Zach Gibson trying to help out his tag team partner. From behind, James Drake. Irish whip into the corner. But look at, Julius was able to stop his momentum into the corner and hit an impressive DDT there on James Drake. Another sharpshooter. Sharpshooter now. Center of the ring. Referee right there to make sure if Mr. James Drake were to tap out here. Will he tap? Oh, he's just wrenching that in, that little snap. Right there on that lower back. I would not be surprised if he wouldn't be able to kick out here. Pinfall. 2, 3. Yes, it is. That last snap of the back there on that submission hold there was perfect right there. I think it tweaked the back of James Drake where he could not move and try to even get his shoulders up. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the Creed brothers will walk in to NXT Vengeance Day with the momentum. Yes, these were singles matches, but it's definitely going to help them out, definitely get them confidence walking into next week's NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. Look at this replay right there, that little cinch right there. He sat down for a brief second. You might not think it's much damage, but I think it kind of torqued the back enough to where James Drake couldn't try to move or whatsoever. Maybe not, but I personally think that definitely helped out. But Julius Creed, big win for the Creed brothers tonight as they get ready for their NXT Championship #1 contender. Time for some big-time women's tag team action. Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. They won this opportunity as they won a Fatal 4-Way Tornado Tag Team matchup. And that even included Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. Newly found team here in NXT. Casey Catanzaro was briefly there on Monday Night Raw, but was not drafted ever. Decided to come over here to NXT. Her good friend Kaden Kaden Carter, pardon me, a good friend of hers. They decided to make a tag team. It wasn't their night there, unfortunately, a while back. But hey, you know, they got plenty of time, and with the new future coming up here in NXT, coming up for sure. I mean, all these women are be jockeying for positions. Cannot wait to see what these men and women are going to be doing here just after NXT Vengeance Day. The future is going to be bright, and I can tell you we are going to see all sorts of men and women that we have not seen going to be joining the roster here live for NXT. And for Bret Hart, he's going to have a lot of big-time surprises, and I cannot wait to see what he brings to the table. But first off, we have to get ready for this matchup here tonight. Cora Jade, Zoe Stark. Refereeing that bell, here we go. And Zoe Stark now. Ooh, brutal DDT right there to Cora Jade. Future is very, very bright with this women's tag team division. And over after NXT Vengeance Day, for NXT, you're going to see a lot of new superstars start to make their way to NXT, and maybe some familiar faces to NXT as well. Cannot wait to see what the Bret the Hitman Hart, your NXT general manager, has planned for you guys. Yes, I did throw some little subtle hints in there, but obviously not going to give away any possible Bret the Hitman Hart kind of strategies. Because I've been in the meetings with NXT general manager Bret the Hitman Hart and all of the agents back there, the producers and all that stuff. That also for Monday Night Raw's Shane McMahon and SmackDown's William Regal. And obviously all of them keep touch on certain matches, on certain superstars, on, you know, possible maybe trades, you know, that type of stuff. So anything's very well possible. We did have the draft a while back, a couple months back, but, you know, nothing wrong with a good old trade here and there if they have to. Or a free agent signing. So look at Zoe Stark with a nice little head scissors takedown there of Roxanne Perez. Pinfall. Ooh, strong kick out there from Roxanne. There's going to be plenty of prospects here in this women's division, and you know we're starting slowly but surely building back that NXT women's division. And you know Bret Hart's trying to pick and choose where he needs to insert women, and same for the men. He's just trying to tweak out the roster and try to see how it is, and he's trying to give as many superstars the opportunity to showcase and get those big-time opportunities, as a big-time pinfall here. But Zoe Stark right there to break it up. And now this is where Roxanne needs to try to decide what she needs to do to Nikita. But just like that, Nikita Lyons is going to be able to take it to Roxanne, because Roxanne was focusing on Zoe Stark. Brutal DDT there. And look at these brutal strikes from Nikita Lyons. Uh-oh. Look at this single leg submission here on Roxanne Perez. She may tap out. Know where to go. Oh, but a big boot by Roxanne. But a lot of damage is done to that leg. And Nikita's all fired up though, but she should have stayed on Roxanne. As here comes Cora Jade. Can she save this matchup? Into the corner we go. Slowly but surely Cora Jade could do it. Uh-oh, look at this bulldog. Beautifully done by Cora Jade. Pinfall. Will this be enough? Ooh, strong kick out. Cora Jade and Roxanne got to start doing a little bit more. Start getting some more moves in. Counter a little bit more as well. If they plan on winning this matchup against the current #1 contenders. That's now Cora Jade. We're looking for another bulldog. Yeah, she's able to hit it. I think she may have briefly knocked off Roxanne Perez. It's Cora Jade all fired up here, but Nikita Lyons snapping out of it. And now going to make Cora Jade pay. Uh-oh. This ain't good. This ain't good. Oh, my goodness. Right on that top rope. Nikita Lyons could be moments away from putting Cora Jade away. A Samoan drop. Nikita Lyons has her right where she wants her. Now I'm going to go for, I don't know if this is an armbar or just going to try to stretch her out. If I was Nikita, I would have honestly went for the pinfall. Could have gotten something better out of it. And now Nikita, though, maybe going to try to go for a tag. Yes, she will. Why not? Get these women some action right now and maybe try to see if we can put her away. Oh. I think Zoe Stark was going to try to make a run for it. Maybe try to do something off the ropes, but a little bit slow there. Hopefully it's no injury done to Zoe Stark. Now Zoe Stark. Uh-oh. Another German on the way. Is she thinking about the trifecta of suplexes? Yes, she does. Turning Cora Jade in half. And Zoe Stark saying, you're done. You're done for. This is my victory. Will she get the momentum heading into NXT TakeOver? Not just yet. Zoe Stark starting to fire herself up. She knows this is her moment. Needs to put away Cora Jade and Roxanne. As Zoe Stark with a beautiful suplex. Taking Cora Jade to Suplex City these last couple minutes here. If I'm Cora Jade, I'd probably need to get a tag here. But eating a super kick will not help her out. And now Cora Jade trying to desperately, and she does. Here comes Roxanne. Perfect timing for Cora Jade to do that. Uh-oh. Off the ropes. Uh-oh. Oh, look at this beautiful head scissors takedown there from Roxanne. Now Roxanne with the momentum. This NXT women's matchup is starting to heat up here. Here comes Roxanne. Pinfall opportunity for Roxanne. Can she knock off the #1 contenders? No, not yet. And now for Roxanne, you cannot get frustrated here. You got to stay on Zoe Stark here. Maybe going to go for maybe a tag here. Yes, they will. Some good old-fashioned tag team offense here. And now, boom. Back body drop takes down Zoe Stark. Now this tandem's starting to work really good together. Oh! Jumping knee strike right to the face and then taking out the left knee. And now going to go for the pinfall. Referee a little bit slow to the count. 2, 3. Yes, it is. Impressive win for Cora Jade and Roxanne tonight over the #1 contenders. An impressive back and forth match tonight. Not every day you see a great tag team match like that, but we did. We're going to put it all on the line tonight. And unfortunately for the #1 contenders, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez knocked off the #1 contenders. But we'll see how Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark will fare against the NXT Women's Champions coming up next week live at NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Look, the cheaters picked up a win over Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. Good job, girls. But you know what? Guess who's not in those women's tag team championships next week? Not you, Cora Jade and Roxanne, and that's such a shame, girls, isn't it? But I did just get done talking to Bret the Hitman Hart, and we did convince Bret to actually do you a favor out of our generous hearts for you guys. So, at NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, it is going to be a triple threat tornado tag team match for our NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Nikita Lyons, Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Roxanne versus the Iconics. The only reason why we're doing that, Cora Jade and Roxanne, is because our time is running out here in NXT. Our contracts are coming up. And after Vengeance Day, we have a lot of stuff to really think about on our futures here on NXT. So we figured, why not add another tag team to this matchup? So good luck, and we'll see you next week in that women's tag title match. Well, that's very interesting to see what we just witnessed. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay saying, hey, you know what? We're having a contract thing that's going to be coming up, so why not? Let's make it a triple threat match. Which normally, realistically, a lot of people would not want to do that in terms of their contracts coming up. They would have a normal tag team match, but Peyton Royce and Billie Kay want to have a challenge, and I don't blame them. And it's going to be even better opportunity, I would say, for Billie Kay and Peyton Royce to show why they have been one of the best NXT Women's Tag Team Champions of all time that we've had here in NXT. But now we have to get back to some action, as Wardlow is in action live tonight, taking on the NXT North American Champion, Christian. Rusev, the new Money in the Bank winner. Rusev defeated Wes Lee tonight to become the new Mr. Money in the Bank. Wes Lee won at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Rusev has been saying weeks now that he's wanted a championship, and he figures by taking that Money in the Bank briefcase away, that is the best way for him to do that. So for Rusev, he has that Money in the Bank briefcase, and he can cash in on CM Punk or maybe in MJF if he happened to win next week at NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. But we'll see how that's going to be faring for Rusev. As here comes your NXT North American Champion, Captain Charisma himself, Christian. A longer reign than CM Punk as North American Champion. Held it for a couple days before Christian Cage would go on to defeat CM Punk. CM Punk briefly had a couple-day reign as double champion. And there's only certain times when superstars can have both championships around their waist and be perfectly fine with it. But with NXT and all these superstars trying to make a name for themselves still like that, I do like it where there's only one championship at a time. But that feud, champion versus champion, winner take all, that was perfect. I perfectly see it that way. But here we go. It's going to be a big time matchup right now for Wardlow as well as Christian. Christian needs a win right now to head into next week's with momentum. Yes, here we go. Wardlow is not going to be an easy man to deal with. Wardlow picking up, I believe, this is his only loss against Brian Cage a month or so back up. So for Wardlow, this is a big time opportunity. Wardlow started off hot, starting to, not get as much opportunities, but we'll see if that will continue as Wardlow with a belly-to-belly suplex pinfall. Could this be enough? But unfortunately for Wardlow, still early in the matchup, obviously, but there was a rope break. And look at the Captain Charisma. He is eating this up right now. The cocky, confident man. We'll see if he's going to be that confident when he takes on Jon Moxley one-on-one for that North American Championship. Later on tonight in your main event, one of the members of the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, he'll be in action taking on MJF. Be very curious to see where that's going to go. Pinfall opportunity. Will this be enough? 2. Ooh, strong kick out. And now Christian. Oh my goodness, a devastating knee strike to the head. This is where that veteran background of Christian comes into this matchup, where he can kind of dictate the pace of this matchup. This Wardlow just very impressive in this ring, especially that F10 he hits is Christian just being decimated just at that moment. But like I mentioned, Wardlow very impressive. He's knocked off the Big Show, part of that big massive tag team that MJF has with himself, Brian Cage, the Big Show, and Chris Jericho. As Wardlow, big frog splash halfway across the ring. Can he pick up a massive win over the North American Champion? Not yet. Very, very close. Especially those ribs are not going to be feeling good. The older you get, the more that it's going to be hurting for certain. As look at Wardlow, almost like an accolade, kind of making fun of Rusev maybe. Showing us maybe Wardlow's doing a little bit better than Rusev. As now Christian trying to fight out of it, and he does. That's why Christian's going to be a first ballot WWE Hall of Famer. One of the best to ever do it in a WWE ring, ladies and gentlemen. So look at, Christian. Beautiful DDT planting. Wardlow, could that be enough? 2. No, 2.5. And look at the face, the shock and awe on Christian's face. You cannot believe it. But now, this is where Christian cannot get frustrated. He has to continue to take it to the big man, Wardlow. You can't get Wardlow back in this matchup whatsoever. If you do, that may be the last time you ever get an opportunity to put away the young and up-and-coming Wardlow here. Oh, and that's what I'm talking about. Uh-oh. Belly-to-belly suplex there. Brutal knee as well. Back and forth we go. One hell of a non-title matchup we're witnessing here. As a brutal suplex there from Wardlow. And Wardlow just eating out this crowd. This crowd here in New York is going bananas right now. Spear! Spear from Captain Charisma. Is that it? 1, 2. No, 2.5. Christian could not believe it. He thought he had it. I honestly thought he had it too. Very, very close. It's a jawbreaker though from Wardlow. He keeps himself in this matchup. But for how much longer though? These guys are putting it all on the line. For every single one of you. Millions watching at home and everyone here live in attendance. And now Mr. Money in the Bank Rusev getting involved face to face with Wardlow. I bet Rusev, or I should say, well, I guess Rusev didn't really appreciate what Wardlow did earlier with that little bit of an accolade we saw earlier. As Christian with those big, brutal forearm punches, and down goes Wardlow. But only down to his knee, though. And look at Christian just basking in his own glory right now here live on NXT. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Wardlow has him up. Uh-oh. Are we going to see an F10? Yes, we do. F10. F10. Is that it? 1, 2. No, Christian able to kick out. Man, what a match we are witnessing as Christian with a key reversal in this matchup. These guys are hitting big move after big time move. How much more do they have left in them? 1, 2, 3. May not be the prettiest win. This was a hard-hitting match, though, man. Both these men put it all on the line for you guys. And Christian Cage takes on Jon Moxley for the North American Championship. One hell of a match coming your guys' way in 1 week's time. What a back-and-forth matchup. And Moxley, I bet, a little frustrated, but, you know, that's Christian Cage, man. His momentum continues to grow here live. It's that F10. Look how close this was with that F10. 1, 2, 2.5. But ultimately, Christian walks out with the win here live on NXT. Christian and Jon Moxley. Who do you guys have winning that North American Championship matchup next week here live? It is main event time here live on NXT. Bryan Danielson will get another opportunity. Last week, he got an opportunity and he took on CM Punk. And CM Punk defeated Bryan Danielson. So we'll see how Bryan Danielson fares tonight in the main event against MJF. Bryan Danielson, part of the Blackpool Combat Club. He wasn't in their corner tonight, so I don't know if there's just more of the focusing and didn't want them to come out and whatnot, but that's more of a Blackpool Combat Club thing and more of the type of focus on this main event. Cannot wait to see it. And my question is, hopefully Bryan Danielson will be in the corner of Jon Moxley, because if Jon Moxley's out there by himself, I mean, he'd probably have Wardlow, maybe, at least, by his side. Then they'll have, you know, at least even numbers game coming up next week at NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. But Daniel Bryan, a former WWE champion, one of the best WWE champions we've had there in SmackDown's history. We'll see how he fares tonight when he takes on MJF. As here we go. Here comes the #1 contender and the man that is so far undefeated here at NXT. That man is MJF. This is going to be, could be the main, I guess you could say the main event. You could say the main match of the night. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But, you know, this is going to be really good. Very technical wrestling match. We'll see if MJF will go to any lows to pick up this win tonight over Bryan Danielson. We know tonight that CM Punk will be talking about, or at least calling out, MJF after this very matchup. It was announced earlier on tonight that CM Punk is here tonight, and he'll be coming out after the main event. But imagine if this was a World Championship matchup. This was honestly could main event any pay-per-view, but we're seeing an undefeated superstar in an MJF, man, that's been on a roll. ever since joining NXT. Then you get a former WWE champion Bryan Danielson looking to climb up the ladder here. Here we go. There's Bryan Danielson with a brutal suplex to open us up here. And I think this is where Bryan's going to be that hard-hitting technical wrestler right here. Obviously, MJF is going to do anything in his power to make sure he walks out the win. He's going to play dirty. He's going to do anything in his power to do that. Rope break here early on from MJF. Unfortunately for Bryan, as a little bit of a submission hold here to Mr. MJF. And for Bryan, he's going to hit all types of submissions. Single leg, double leg submissions, arm bars, all sorts of stuff. Daniel Bryan has all sorts of knowledge on when it comes to those brutal submissions. And now with his Bryan Danielson here in NXT, he's going to have even more of that aggressiveness, the more submissions that are going to be to his repertoire. Oh, brutal chop, and now MJF moving out of the way now. Not going to count for his own head scissors. We do love the back of the referee's back there. Is that brutal headlock there, but Bryan getting out of it. Oh, going for a brutal punch to the face there, but Bryan saw it coming, and now just able to take back that momentum that Mr. MJF had. Big pinfall there. Only one count. Let's see if MJF can get back in this matchup. Here comes MJF. DDT to Bryan. That's what MJF needs to do. And once MJF starts thinking that he's able to start getting something going, Bryan Danielson is just one step ahead of him. And for Bryan, he's going to be definitely disappointed. His return here in NXT probably hasn't gone the best that he's wanted to. He's decided to join up here. William Regal wanted Bryan and Jon Moxley, and even got Wardlow to join them. But, Bryan, he wants to be the main superstar here in NXT. And I don't think he's going to want to stay down for much longer, honestly. Strong kick out there from MJF. As now MJF's trying to stir to his feet, but Bryan, no, big punch from MJF now. Oh, an eye rake. Referee, looking off in the distance. You could see there, he was looking off in the distance. Didn't see it. That low blow, referee was looking at the crowd for some reason. Not going to call it. And now MJF. DDT to Bryan. Holy hell, pinfall, but there is a rope break. Into a brutal punch to the face as well. Bryan Danielson is in trouble right now. Is MJF just eating this up right now? How much more can Bryan take here? As MJF, big old leg drop to the neck right there to Bryan. Bryan Danielson could be moments away from losing this matchup. Oh, wait a minute. That's CM Punk. CM Punk, the NXT champion. Not going to wait until after the main event. He's going to come out here. Can he screw MJF? Will this be the first loss for MJF? What? No, not even a 1 count. Trying to get Bryan Danielson to pick up a win over MJF. Imagine the dismay, the distraught on MJF's face if his first loss is going to be to Bryan Danielson a week before his championship match. Let's look at these big kicks from Bryan Danielson. Well, he calls the yes kicks. It's a big clubbing kick to the front of his, or the side of his skull, I should say. And now, gonna go for the yes lock, the Danielson lock. Submission hold here. Will MJF have to tap out? Middle of that ring. Nowhere to go. Can he keep himself in this matchup? But Bryan letting go. Must have not had it fully locked in. Pinfall opportunity. 2, 3. Bryan Danielson picks up a win due to the help of CM Punk tonight, live here on NXT. It's a shame to see it end like that, but Bryan Danielson As look at here, the referee looking at the crowd, not looking at the matchup for some reason. Didn't see the low blow. There's CM Punk. Bryan trying to steal victory, not able to, but these yes kicks eventually are all hit. This big kick to the skull. And eventually Bryan Danielson picks up the win. And look at CM Punk right there celebrating with Daniel Bryan. Big time way to end NXT here live tonight here on NXT. CM Punk celebrating with Bryan Danielson. MJF knocked out still from that yes kick. And CM Punk not done. Big ol' elbow drop to MJF. And now we got ourselves a brawl. And now, MJF not gonna back down whatsoever. Oh my God. MJF is not gonna back down. You hate to see it. He's gonna be snapped. Breaking his undefeated streak, and his name is CM Punk. Bryan's the one that defeated MJF, but that is due to CM Punk getting involved, and MJF is not going to be too happy about it. Oh my goodness, a rib shot from MJF. And now Punk going to try and get it back into this. Here comes Punk after eating those brutal shots there. Oh my goodness, a brutal maneuver there. And now Punk. No, not on the metal. The metal grating. That is not going to be feeling too good. And now Punk. Punk setting up. Gonna go for the GTS. GTS to MJF. Your NXT champion has laid waste and has made a mockery of MJF as these two go to war next week at NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day.